All right, cheers and salutations, all you lovely, beautiful people. My name is Kit. This is Chicago Reacts. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that ring bell notification. That way, all of you are made aware when we upload new content, you guessed it, upon our YouTube channel. And today, we have ourselves a fun video that's actually close to my heart. It's from Grand Thumb, but it has to deal with a certain weapon that I once used back in the day when I was in the Marine Corps. That's right. The M16A4. Now, I've had the privilege of firing the M16A2, the M16A4, the M4 carbine. What do all three of them have in common? I gave them all the same name, Cleopatra. That was the name of my rifle. Cleopatra, my bitch of the Nile. I'm sorry. I had a wonderful flashback. Just holding Cleo back in the day. But this is from Grand Thumb, and it's called the M16A4, the 3-round burst Menace. So, folks, listen. Grand Thumb, they do a lot of great stuff. Follow them on all their social media. It's the right thing to do. It's the one thing to do. Check out our Discord page and also check out our Patreon page as well. But before you do all that, support the original content creator. Support the original content creator. Support the original content creator. If not for me, then do it for Cleo, my bitch of the Nile. But without further ado, since I've been charged of the 1s and 2s, let's play this video in a 3, a 2, and an uno.
Anyway, that's why I feel like, I don't know, bayonets just aren't really that cool anymore.
That's very offensive. Shame on you. Hashtag unsubscribe.
They're kind of obsolete.
Hey! Yes.
See that guy?
Yeah. Yes. Get him. Get him!
That one? Yeah, he's like running at us, I think.
Get him!
Is he moving, or does he just keep running in the exact same spot?
I think he's just running.
Yes! Yes! It's beautiful to behold. I miss you, Cleo.
Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about probably one of the vibiest, one of the most amazing weapons in any video game, and that is going to be the M16A4. Micah, do you know about the M16A4?
No, can you tell me about it?
It is a 3-round burst AR-15 derivative, specifically modeled after the M16A2. All the problems of the M16A2 come into play with the M16A4.
It was originally a Call of Duty gun, and then they decided to make it in real life, right?
So in Modern Warfare, it was so good, the 3-round burst would kill in one burst, you know, that the Army thought to themselves,
Huh.
why not?
Why not?
For real though, ladies and
They dreamt. And it came to fruition.
gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the M16A4, a legendary weapon in the military, and especially amongst my Marines out there. I know that you guys are...
By the way, I gotta update this thing. Plus, I think I need to hit the gym a little bit more. But yeah. M-A-R-I-N-E-S. That's the way you spell success.
legendary weapon in the military, and especially amongst my Marines out there. I know that you guys are currently pounding the floor and making gorilla noises, which is A-okay.
Yeah! 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 I'm getting tired of all of people making these stereotypes. Marines always being drunk, getting something pregnant, causing a disaster, punching through holes, being aggressive, blowing things up, yelling for no reason. I'll have you know. And listen, folks, I'm going to give you the real truth. In the Marine Corps, we study philosophy, art, political debates, and we play backgammon and chess. How dare all of you assume that we're all just these guys that just crazy things, or that we're crazy? Shame on you. And if anyone wants to challenge me, debate me. I've already won, though.
Out there, I know that you guys are currently pounding the floor and making gorilla noises, which is a-okay. We love you guys. We of course have to
As
thank
you should.
the biggest sponsor of the channel, who is the Sonoran Desert. And so if you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, they are the people to go to. We love them. They fund all of our videos and they keep everything nice and free for you. So go and check them out. Tell them you love them. Micah, who can we not forget?
Primary Arms, proudly providing you any M16 optic that you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Whatever your heart's desire, they have it all. And they have awesome optics at a great price. And we absolutely
I think they said something about, they knew we were doing an M16 video, so they're including crayons.
And if you're looking to get
I feel that was a slight, but that's all right. I'll let this one pass.
better at shooting, we recommend Dry Fire, and Mantis will turn your weapon into your dry fire machine. All of my Mantis products have been stolen by my employees because they're that good. We love them. Go and check them out. They're easily installed, and it just makes dry fire fun, in my opinion. But with all that being said, talk is cheap, and ammunition is what, Micah?
Provided by AAC.
That is absolutely correct. First thing we're going to be showing is some drills showing the prowess of the M16A4. Now, the M16A4 is known for its burst capability, so the first drill is going to be the Bill Drill Burst. Now, you might be asking yourself, in what situation would the M16A4 be used in CQB? And the unfortunate answer is quite a bit, actually. So,
yep, there you go, brothers. Represent.
So, this drill is going to be 6 rounds at 7 yards as quick as possible. Due to the burst mechanism, 3 rounds per trigger pull, hopefully.
This is going to be so hard.
You're going to see some problems. All right, let's try it out.
All right, you starting safety on?
Yeah, I'm rotating all the way over to burst.
Okay. That was really
I got
good.
it. I got it.
Okay, you made it look easy,
Flawless.
but that was hard.
Whoo! Look at that. That was the best I've ever done with the burst mechanism.
Like, we
That is awesome. I salute.
tried doing that all day. We couldn't do it.
Okay, I'm going to show you guys something really interesting. You ready for this? So I'm going to switch to semi. I'm going to fire around. Then I'm going to switch to burst. I'm going to run this drill again, and you're going to see a problem. This is one of the reasons why burst sucks. Okay, so we're going to fire 1 round.
Hey. Don't say things you can't take back.
Okay, now we're switching over to burst. I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
you ready? Stand by. Beep.
Okay, so if you notice, the first burst was 2 rounds. Now the question is, why was it 2 rounds? Well, it's due to the way that the burst cam mechanism works on the M16A4. It's 2 shallow grooves and 1 deep groove. It sounds simple. You would think to yourself, when I let off the trigger, it should reset, but it doesn't. It actually has a memory. So if you're firing single fire or you short stroke the 3-round burst, when you finish that burst trigger pull later on down the road, it's going to either fire 1 round, 2 round, or 3 rounds, depending on where it is in the cam mechanism. It sucks. So I fire 2, I switch to burst,
Cool.
got 2, got 3, and just 1 round on burst. It's psychotic.
I didn't know that. Well, hey, I never said I was an expert or a hero, but I will tip my hat to that.
It is the worst burst mechanism ever. And in fact, Eugene Stoner absolutely hated the burst mechanism in every single way. It was a weird compromise between conserving ammo, but I think it just sucks. Micah, let's see how you do.
Well, now I don't know how many rounds I'm going to get out of this thing.
That's part of the fun. How many rounds are you going to get? Okay.
all right.
Shooter, are you ready?
I am.
Stand by. Up.
don't know how many rounds I shot. I shot 1 the first time. I shot 3 the next.
Okay, you fired 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
But
And I
you
tried
know
to
what?
fire 6.
It was all A zone. Okay, reset so you get 3 shots.
All right, I should get 3 shots.
Okay,
now.
okay.
I should get 3 shots.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. Up. Nice. Great group.
Wow. I mean, it really stacks them though.
No, the burst,
It maintains that that rifle length impulse.
it's an M16.
Yeah,
it just doesn't
doesn't
move.
recoil.
It doesn't recoil at all. Well, as you can see, effective. Now let's try transitioning, but not in a bad way. 3 targets going across.
That was funny.
So we'll show you the 3-round burst going across. There is an application for 3-round bursts. It's just not really for most situations. Anything that 3-round burst is good for, auto would be just as good and much better. So go ahead and show you that to you right here. Tell me when, Micah.
Shoot ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Up.
Go.
I feel like it's slow because you have to wait for the burst
It
to
definitely
end.
feels. And I didn't even do that good on this one. In fact, I pulled this one over as I came, and this one and this one was
That's what he said to her.
on the second ratchet, so I only fired 2 rounds on that one. I hate burst so much. All right, how fast do you think I can run the burst, Micah?
If you time it properly, really fast, but you probably will mess it up.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yep. Stand
Go.
by. Up. That's
That was
pretty good.
freaking
Let's try it
awesome.
one more time. Oh, that's a good catch. You
Yeah.
see that? That's cool.
Shot
Okay,
at.
okay. Ready? Ready?
Stand
Go.
by.
More.
Up.
I'm getting it.
Nice.
Ain't bad.
It wasn't as good
That was actually pretty fucking epic. Oh, I shouldn't swear. I'm sorry.
as that first build reel.
No, it wasn't. Right here we have the FN Collector's Edition M16A4. We're going to be grouping it at 100, seeing how it does with 77 grain. It is a 1 in 7 twist. It should perform quite well. This is known to be a 2 to 4 MOA rifle within the military. I think it can do better, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't shooting 77 grain, were they?
No, they're shooting like MA55, which is notoriously not great. You know, it was doing good and it just sent like 2 fucking flyers out there, dude. Let's group it once more to see if that's what it's doing or if it's
Do it.
me.
Nice.
Okay, that one was fucking really good. Let me do one more then.
Go. Go. Go.
Okay, those were about the same. Let me measure those and let's have you shoot it right after, Micah.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my first group that I did. I really felt like those 2 were probably due to me, so I wanted to regroup again. That was the second group. That was the third group. I'm going to measure these 2. We might measure that one. I really felt like my trigger pull was kind of garbage on that. So this group right here, we have 1.195, which is, I think, beyond what the M16A4 is typically capable of. I think this is much more indicative. So we're gonna go ahead and measure this and this one. I think this is closer to like 3. Would you agree, Micah?
Yeah.
Which, that's well within contract. So let's do that one more time. Okay, this group right here is sitting at 2.113 MOA. Again, that's at the low end of what it can group. I think that's pretty indicative. This one right here, we have it about closer to 4. So maybe that wasn't me at all. We're gonna have Micah confirm. Micah's pretty good at grouping, and we'll see what his group comes out to, and we'll go from there. The problem is the trigger pull is not great
Yeah.
because we have the cam ratcheting mechanism, but that's life, man.
Come on. You got this, man. Represent. Yes. Yes. Good. Good. Good.
Okay, that's pretty similar to mine. All right, so we have Micah's group right here after he got warmed up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1.767. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good for this rifle. I think that's probably
I think anything under 2 with this gun is
pretty
is
good.
cooking.
I think 2 is what this gun is gonna do most of the time.
I mean, something to note is it's not free floated.
Yep.
And if you even just spend $600 on a very cheap free floated gun, you'll be in the ones.
No, 100%. It's the M16A4 or A2. Everyone thinks of them as, you got this 20-inch rifle length, you got this big old sight radius. Like, this thing must be like just like sub MOA all day long. This is not the case. It's older tech. It's not free floated like Micah was saying. That means that as the slug is traveling down the barrel, that barrel is not able to flex in the way it wants to flex. So you just don't have the accuracy that you see out of modern systems. That being said, there's a lot of nostalgia, and you know what, Micah? It looks cool.
It does. It looks cool, and I got all the good memories just bubbling up in my stomach.
Okay, what we're going to show right here is something similar that we did with the AN-94, but a little bit more braced, so not quite fair. We're going to fire a 3-round burst at 100 and see how many rounds we can actually keep on target. I don't think it's going to do that great.
I don't think you get 3 rounds on that target.
Come
No,
on.
I really
I
don't
believe
think so.
you're going to get 3 rounds.
Which
Do
one are
it.
you going for?
I'll go for the 100.
I don't see where you're shooting.
The white
Yeah.
dog target above the corral.
Okay.
Go.
1 impact.
Come on.
You know what? He gets hit once, and then like all those buddies are real scared. Okay.
Let me see the. Can I see the shot dispersion at 300?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, there you go.
Oh, you had
Oh,
Yo, I heard that.
2 impacts at 300.
bro, what's up?
That's nice.
Oh, let's go! You know what, dude?
Nice.
That surprised me.
Dude, Cold War era engineering, just smacking Soviets twice. Now this video is brought to you by
Take that, Stalin.
IWA International. This is not an airsoft company. This is a pyrotechnic company. This is a movie effects company. This is used by professionals and civilians alike. Now, they make a whole lot of different devices, but one thing that we wanted to point out really quickly is we use the living hell out of their M13 thermal barracks, which is basically a flashbang. We love them, don't we, Micah? They're awesome. Now, on the back here, they will fit all your normal flashbang pouches. The United States Marine Corps ones are super cheap right now. Find what's going to fit. Now,
Yeah, of course, in Marine Corps, everything's cheap. This is how we roll.
these are not for me. These are for a teammate. Yep. Don't throw it. It's so loud. But we love them. They also make smoke grenades. You always need to, at times, mask your movement. So we always recommend
Yep. Pop a smoke and get up out of there.
having
Like when you get, like when you're in a little of a situation, you just gotta just jump out and dodge.
smokes and bangs, especially in urban environments. Now, they make a whole lot of different things as well. They also make your they have directional thermite coming out. They have multi-bangs. They have door breaching kits. They have tons of things. Now, you do have to take a little test to be able to own these. A little bit of squeeze, whole lot of juice. So make sure you get out there. We love IWA. Go and check out their devices. We use them all the time, and we cannot thank them enough for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the M16. The M16A4, a legendary weapon, and one you're probably all familiar with. Now, if you're not familiar with it, the M16A4 was the replacement for the M16A2. The question is, why did they replace the M16A2? Wars evolved, so did the equipment, and very quickly it was realized that the M16A2 had a lot of problems with mounting optics and mounting lasers. Hence, the M16A4 was developed. Now, the changes in the A4 were specifically in the removal of the carry handle sight, which was either could be put on but could be removed, and the addition of a rail. This one is from Knight's Armament. This is the typical rail that one other company did also do contracting and make this rail themselves. Otherwise, you pretty much have an identical rifle to the M16A2. All the problems that came with the M16A2 were pushed right over into the M16A4. So there was some pushback from the Marine Corps on making some changes that were needed.
Come on, Commandant. Come on, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Especially you, Sergeant Major. No, I shouldn't say that, because the next thing you know, Sergeant Major Marine Corps is going to be knocking on my door. Oh, well. Ooh. Something came loose. Been hitting this wall so much. Okay, never mind then. Anyway, Sergeant Major Marine Corps might say, oh, I see what you're doing, Mr. Kit Cabello. Got your fancy YouTube channel. I guess you forgot Sergeant Major never quits.
but none of those were ever made. And we got the M16A4 as it was. Now, if you served in the Army, if you served in the Marine Corps, you served in the Air Force, you served in the Coast Guard, you have spent time on the M16A4. This is the rifle that I qualified on. It had the old carry handle sight. It qualified on irons. And I never saw an M16A4 again until 2019 NTC ran into some Marines who had these muskets. And I was like, oh my God, is that an M16? And they're like, yeah. We'll just go. They're super cool. But you
Like, yeah, but it's ours. I'll never forget you, Cleo.
know what? Marines got it down with the M16A4, and now they've shanghaied everyone, and they have HK416. So who's the real winner? But this talk is mostly about the M16A4. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be going, and we're going to be doing what the Marines love the best. Tip to butt. So all my Marines back there, kick it back in your dorms. What do you guys call them? Dorms? What do you call them?
Barracks.
Barracks. Kick back in your barracks. Crack a beer open. So to start with,
You know what? We're going to keep this in. You said crack a beer open? Fine. You got it. This is a beverage that is kind of named after a certain thing that happened in 2020 that got a bad rep, but I called it the original cure. But this is apple juice, but it's called Corona. You know, it's a little bit extra. So cheers. You said crack open a beer? Fine. I mean apple juice, apple juice, apple juice, apple juice.
we're going to start at the tip right here and talk about
That's what you said.
what was good about both the M16A2 and the A4. So the flash hider right here is a bird cage flash hider. Now, a three-prong flash hider, which has been used quite extensively in the War and Terror, is really good. But what they found was that with the typical grunts out there, the bushes and trees and branches were getting caught in those three prongs, so they wanted to go to a closed tine type of muzzle device. The original bird cage that was used in Vietnam actually had port openings all around. This was quickly changed on the A2 and the A4, where it's only open at the top. So the muzzle device is actually timed, as you can see. The reason for that is when you're firing in prone, you're going to kick up less dust. It is a better design. But like I mentioned earlier, the A2 does have a tendency to actually push your gun down because it's a little too aggressive. I do prefer a three-prong or some type of muzzle device that pushes that gas forward, because the AR-15s mostly recoil straight back, so it really isn't necessary. The best part about the M16 is, of course, the ability to mount a bayonet. Now, the M4 can do it, but it doesn't look nearly as cool. So, right over the bird cage, and then it locks right onto the bayonet lug, and you have your bayonet. Now, the question is, have bayonets been used in combat? And you're damn right they've been used in combat.
Yes, they have.
There's nothing more terrifying than a partially retarded U.S. Marine who grew up in Iowa.
I'm going to let that one slide.
And weighs 280 pounds with an IQ that is room temperature, charging at you with a bayonet mounted to his M16, because he is going to literally put it through your entire body, probably part of the M16, lift you up off your feet, and then not know what to do next because he doesn't have the intelligence to do so.
We'd figure it out. Okay? I'm just sip my beer.
But these are incredible.
I mean apple juice.
Bayonets, not so much anymore, but they were used to great effect. There's a lot of psychological impact to having the bayonet. In fact, you can look at old photos of the war in Fallujah. You can look at old photos from the Battle of Fallujah that the Marines fought pretty hard in, and a lot of them had these bayonets mounted because things were getting very close. Now, there has been a lot of criticism on the M16 A4 and the A2 for barrel length. We have a 20-inch barrel. But if there's one thing you can say about the 20-inch barrel, it's that it turns all 5.56 ammunition from training ammo into duty ammo. The M16 is launching 5.56 projectiles at well over 3,000 feet per second, depending on the grainage and the weight of the projectile itself. When you are firing a 5.56 slug at that speed, the round has a tendency to yaw, to break apart, and to do horrific damage. The M16 is 100% a killer. It is really good at what it does, and it is a phenomenal combat rifle, with the exception being is that it's very long. As you can see here,
That's what she said.
if you're a manlet, it's a little bit hard to maneuver around this thing. We'll talk more about that, specifically the stock length, but certainly 20 inches is hard to maneuver around. The M4 is a much more ergonomic platform overall, but you definitely get range on this. Now, we do have to note that the M16 isn't a marksman's rifle. You think of something like a Mark 12, which looks very similar to the M16, and yet the Mark 12 is printing far under an MOA, usually closer to 0.7 to 0.6.
What's that meme where it's like squint 80%?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Mark 12 or it's an
Mark 12.
M16. If you squint 80%, you might just see an M16.
So the M16 is a good rifle, but it is not that designated marksman's rifle. It can be pushed into that role, but it is clearly not suited for it. It can make those shots, and Marines are trained to dial their windage, to dial their elevation, and to make those shots. But there are far more capable and accurate rifles. Now, one thing I do have to note is we have two rifles here. We have one from FN, and then we have a FN contract upper, and then we have a lower from International Mil-Spec Co. that I then engraved to give it the exact clone correct markings because I'm severely autistic. Moving back from there, we do have our front sight post. The front sight post is usable, it is very strong, it provides a good stable mounting point for a bayonet. However, beyond that, it does present a lot of problems in terms of letting the barrel flex during shooting and affecting accuracy. As you can see, the rail itself is mounted into the front that connects to that front sight post. Thus, you do not have a free floating platform. Some would argue that it is not. Because of that, the M16A4 does suffer from some accuracy issues. Again, I'm being overly harsh. 2 MOA is still quite good for a combat rifle, but this could be a lot more with just a few changes. We should also note that the twist rate on the M16A2 and A4 is 1 in 7. This was changed specifically to stabilize
By the way, folks, there will be a test, so I hope all of you are taking notes.
tracer rounds in cold weather and had nothing to do with the M855. The M855 itself is not a particularly accurate round, but that has been solved with the M855 Alpha 1 and other rounds like the Mark 262 and Sierra, once again just proving that they're really good at killing people. Right, Micah?
As they should.
Yeah.
Now, the rail from Knight's Armament is iconic. It looks great, it functions well, and typically they come with a lot of these nice little covers right here that you promptly remove when you get these from the armory. In this case, we have them all removed on this particular rifle, and there's not a whole lot that you have to say about it. At the back, it does have a little lip that locks into the delta ring at the back there, and it screws down, so it is a very stable platform. It's utilitarian, but it screams GWAT to me, and that is very cool. As far as what we have mounted here, we have a what?
Question. You can remove the bottom, right?
Yes. So
And
the
put
bottom rail is
put a grenade launcher.
It's a two-piece design. So you can do one of two things. You can either remove the bottom rail and barrel mount your M203, or you can rail mount your M203. Most M16 rifles I saw that had M203s were in the Army and Marine Corps, and they had them barrel mounted. So you can remove this bottom piece and do that. Mike.
Yeah, so damn, man, I forgot the 203. But you know what I remember a lot in Hollywood movies? I forget which movies really did a disservice to the M203, but they kind of made it like a shotgun. I forget which movie that did it. Again, maybe there's somebody out there that has a better memory than I do, but I think that there was a movie that kind of made it was an action movie. I don't know. It could have been science fiction, but I remember there was a scene like they kept on loading it, and it looked like the 203 was like a shotgun, but that's not how a 203 works. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, that is a good point to bring up.
Thank you.
Now, right here, we do have an older Surefire Millennium Light, and we have a PEC 2 Alpha. These were both used during the height of the GWAT. We wanted to make sure this just looked cool, had some vibes to it.
In case y'all don't know what GWAT is, that's the Global War on Terror.
We have a normal pressure pad. Going back from there, let's talk a little bit about the upper receiver here. The big change from the A2 being that we have a flat top, that way we can mount optics. A lot of the problems with the A2 were actually due to the rear sight and a lot of the changes that were made there. So with the deletion of that carry handle sight that can easily be removed, if you're a Marine, it means you have to mount it on the bottom because you can never have it not on your rifle. But the point is you can have much more effective optics. Right here we have a EOTech on this particular M16 that turns into more of a
I had an ACOG though.
short range weapon, but as you can see, we can easily make shots out to 400. Or right here we have the Trijicon ACOG on this M16,
Yes!
and that
ACOG!
is a specialty of the Marine Corps and the Army. And when you have a Trijicon ACOG on a M16, it turns it into just a machine of death and destruction. Very famously, when these were first implemented in Fallujah, the enemy was quite confused and thought that the Marine Corps had fielded a bunch of designated marksmen due to the accuracy of the fire from the Marines. The ACOG has turned the M16 into a very effective weapon.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that addition to the M16 and for the toughness and the robustness of this particular optic. Mikey, you love the ACOG, don't you?
I really like the ACOG.
Ian, do you like the ACOG?
Love it.
You served
I love the ACOG.
with it.
I did. Doesn't ever drop zero. You can bang it, drop it, drag it.
It was a good optic, man. We had the one that had the offset sights and then the RMR on top. Gucci. Moving from there, if you have some type of ACOG on there, typically you had to have these little detachable rear sights that you can dial from 200 all the way up to 600 on this particular rear sight. This was made by a variety of companies from MA Tech to others, but not a whole lot to write home about on those. We do, of course, have a Knight's Armament broom handle grip. These were classic M16 editions and were widely issued. As you can see right there, it actually is quite ergonomic, just a little bit long for what you need, but you know what, they absolutely worked. Now, moving from the upper receiver going over to the lower receiver, we of course have probably one of the most interesting factors when it comes to the M16A4, and that is going to be the ratcheting mechanism that makes the burst mechanism work. So the M16A4 has a burst mechanism that has memory. What you have is you have a ratcheting cam system, and you have two shallow grooves and you have one deep groove. On the deep groove, that stops the shots, and the two shallow ones, of course, those allow the sear to continue to trip and to continue to fire the weapon in burst mode. The problem with the burst mode on the M16A4 is the fact that due to the way that system is designed, you have three distinctly different trigger pulls in semi-auto. So you have that first one, second one, then the third one. That's in semi-auto. And again, due to the memory, when you're firing in semi, and if you switch to burst, you never really know if you're going to be on a 3-round burst, a 2-round burst, or a 1-round burst. So it is a fairly useless mechanism in my mind. It makes it very hard to be able to rely on it when it comes to combat or to even training. You just don't know exactly what it's going to do, and unpredictability when it comes to your weapon is not a good thing.
No.
When we got the M4s and we were upgraded to the M4A1s, so that was the M4 going from burst to auto, it was such a godsend to have that auto trigger because it made it so much better, and auto is infinitely more useful. And again, with a trained soldier, and every soldier is a volunteer in the United States military, they are trained mostly well. You should see other countries. So I really
Number one.
don't see a point to the burst mechanism. I understand the thoughts of the 80s where it was like they thought that they would just waste all their ammo if they had auto. That is not the case, and I absolutely hate the burst mechanism. Okay, we got the...
Come on, man. Open your heart a little. Open your heart.
I don't know where I am on the cam system. We'll find out. Okay, pulling into that trigger. Hit the immediate wall. About a 7-pound pull. Okay, letting forward. Sticky. Then that was like a 5-pound pull. It was like a 6-pound pull. Okay, and I should have reset at this point. 7-pound pull. That's cool. I like unpredictability in my triggers personally. I think that's good. So sad about that. I'll be autistic and talk about the markings right here. But we have the one International Mil-Spec Co. And the contract upper, which is much closer to what you'd see from the military, and then you have the FN Collector Edition. I don't know why on the FN Collector Edition they just didn't mark it the same. It seems like something very trivial and very easy to do. but yet here we are. You can see the difference in the markings. Again, just engrave stuff yourself and have a good time. From there, we do have an A2 grip. I actually don't have a problem with the A2 grip personally. I don't mind the finger grooves if it really is a problem for you. I don't know, maybe just shoot more.
Grow up.
Yeah, grow up. Moving back, so the buttstock is pretty interesting. So right here we do have a buttstock pouch from Spectre Gear. That's old school GWAT stuff, and then we have one of the Kyle Lamb slings right here. These are awesome. This is 100% what was used. But when we talk about the buttstock, what's interesting is that the buttstock was actually lengthened by about 5/8 of an inch. So the A1 had a pretty good buttstock length, and then they lengthened it on the A2, made it a better target rifle, better shooting at Camp Perry. And you know what? It made it a real bitch for anybody who's under 5'7" shooting this thing in armor. It sucked. Having a non-adjustable stock just kind of sucks if you're a little bit short. But the one thing that you could say about the M16A4 is how damn reliable it is. It is a very robust weapon. It is a very soft shooting weapon. It is so easy to keep on target with this thing. If
So easy, you 3-round bursted it at 300 yards and hit
ridiculous.
2 impacts.
It's pretty ridiculous. This is a really good combat rifle. This is 100% something that I would trust my life to. Even the FN one, even though it costs so much money, it's way too expensive.
How much is the FN one?
It's like $2,300, dude.
That's not too bad.
I mean, you could get a way better rifle for $2,300.
That's not the point.
Hey. Don't say things you can't take back.
Listen, if you want a clone rifle, the FN is the way to go. Or go to our buddies over at International Mil Spec and probably get a more clone correct built. This is a rifle I 100% trust, guys. When it comes to something I would honestly use as things are collapsing, I'd be pretty terrified of a guy with an M16. You're launching those projectiles super fast. When we talk about defeating armor, you're launching them fast enough to defeat armor. We punched you a level 4 with MA55 Alpha 1 in one of these guys. Remember, Mike?
I do, back at the Washington.
Yeah, back at the Washington property. It is an awesome rifle. There are better rifles out there, but dang, dude, this will last you a very, very long time. And what's even better is that recoil is so soft, so when you take people shooting, it really is a nice way to introduce people to the world of shooting.
Especially if you're running suppressed, it's so quiet.
It's a big gun once you put a suppressor on there. Get a Mark 12 at that point. Maybe. Yeah, get a Mark 12.
Loving the background music.
The one thing I do have to note that I always think is very funny is the barrel contour. The barrel contour on this is all messed up. They actually added the thickness past the front sight posts, but the problem that they were running into in Vietnam was not a problem here, it was a problem behind the front sight post, whereas the weapon was getting very hot because that's where most of the heat was right there. It was actually bursting either at the barrel or at the gas tube. So this was solved in the SOCOM profile barrel, but the government profile, which is what's in an A4, has all that thickness up here. Now they did that because they thought that bayonet training was gonna bend the barrel, then they thought that paratroopers impacting the ground was gonna bend the barrel, and there wasn't really a good bit of information that really explained why they did it, other than Army says good. And so you have the government profile barrel that has added weight at a place that is completely useless and makes no difference. Now, Eugene Stoner said it best. He tried to correct them. They said, I don't know if that's good for morale. He's like, hey, fair enough. It is weight out front, and it will help make the gun shoot a little bit flatter, but it really is not doing anything for you that barrel weight couldn't be added somewhere else. Overall, the M16A4 is a weapon that lives in my heart very fondly. I love this gun. I love everything about it. I love it even though it's not the most accurate AR-15 out there. It just looks cool, and it is just robust, and that is something I very much so appreciate in a combat rifle. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video on the M16A4. I know I did. I don't love burst, but it was cool.
It's fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I had fun. So stay tuned. Tons of great things coming. We appreciate you guys, and as always, stay cool out there. Final thing for you guys, we got dad advice. The dad advice I'm gonna have for you guys is when your kids run up to you, and you will have kids at some point, you should have kids at some point, it is kind of your duty, pay attention to them. They're coming up to you for a reason. They look at you so fondly, and they have so much love, so much respect for you, especially when they're younger. Give them that time. Hug them, let them know you love them. Give them a little bit of something. I know you're working. I know you got stuff going on.
Scrolling on Reels.
Scrolling on
it
on
murders
Instagram.
me when, like, I'm just scrolling and my kid he's not even 3 yet.
Yeah.
He'll push my phone out of the way.
Let's go.
And just be like, Dad. And, like, shove his face in my face. Like, get rid of your phone.
It's true, man. They're only at that young age for so long before they become a teenager and decide that they hate you.
Well, gentlemen, all the best to you and your families. Seriously, folks, life is short, life is precious. Live in love for today and seize all tomorrows, as you should. What a great video. The breakdown, the analysis of the M16A4. Loved a little bit of the shout out here and there to the Marine Corps. Who doesn't love a good ribbing here and there? But okay. Shout out again to Grand Thumb. That's right. I'm saying it proper now. Yeah, you know. So there you go, Grand Thumb, as it should be. But as folks, I would say this. Just remember, that, my friends, is how you tear apart, break down, and give a good analysis to a weapon. And the M16A4 will forever hold a spot in my heart. But let's not forget, the M16A2 also holds a special spot. It's same thing for the M4 carbine too. Cleopatra, I will never forget you. But as always, folks, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that ring bell notification. Check out Grand Thumb. Follow him on all of his social media. The original link to this video is in the description box below. If you want to check out Chicago Reacts, we got a Discord page. We got a Patreon page. We got our YouTube channel. We got a lot of great projects in the works, and I promise you, folks, some good things are in the works. So please take good care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see all you beautiful people on the flip side. And again, remember, spend time with all of your family, not just with your kids. I don't have kids, but spend time with your kids, your relatives, your older relatives, because you never know what tomorrow holds. Seize all tomorrows. Peace.